belt-up Perth Wheelcats. We've already seen some remarkable action this weekend, including a bronze medal game in the women's league. And of course, this is the National Wheelchair Basketball League, coming to you courtesy of Wheelchair Basketball Australia and the Beluga Foundation. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser this morning. And Campbell, what are you looking forward to in today's clash?
I think I'm looking forward to a very aggressive game. We know both of these teams like to play hard and fast. And really, I'm looking for something a little bit closer than when these two teams matched up yesterday. We know that on the side of Manly, Fuentes Cervantes and Latham both only shot 25% and 27% respectively. And they can do a lot better than that. We've seen better than that in the season open. So I'm expecting a much closer game today and fighting hard to get that bronze.
Yeah, in yesterday's semi-final it was Perth 61, Manly 34, a game that was close for about the first 15 minutes and then Perth asserted their authority. Starters for today's lineup as the teams are going through their last-minute preparations in their huddles. For Manly, it's number 1, the Mexican international Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes. Matthew McShane in 6, Reece Baxter in 9, Bill Latham in 12, and Eamon Wood in 44. Whilst for the belt-up Perth Wheelcats, it's Frank Pinder in 2, Sean Norris in 10, Tom McHugh in 13, Jake Kavanagh 14, and Phil Evans in 18. The three officials for today's fixture. The crew chief, Helen Rosenberg, she with the basketball at the centre of the court, Adam McIntyre and Matt Chow. This second game, one of 4 contests today to decide the 2 bronze medalists, and following this, the 2 gold medal games in the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League and the same league for the men. Players just going through the obligatory greetings, many of them vastly familiar with each other. It's a fantastic opportunity. This is the first time that the National Wheelchair Basketball League and the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League have run a full home and away season since 2019. Play underway. And Fuentes Cervantes with the ball for Manly. Hands off to Wood. Wood to Bill Latham. He kicks it back to Wood. Shot clock creeps under 10. Ball back to Wood. Latham with the first shot. That's off. The rebound for Perth by Tom McHugh. Sean Norris back to McHugh. Wood with the hand in there, poking that one away.
That's what we'd like to see early in the game. Players already fighting for steals and things like that. That's a good sign for a game to come.
Notice the vast spread there from that sideline out of bounds by Perth. Sean Norris takes a deep breath and launches his first shot. It's an unsuccessful 3. Fuentes Cervantes with the ball for Manly. Hands off to Wood. Latham makes a cut on the left-hand side of the floor, but the ball goes to the right block. Fuentes Cervantes. Plenty of coverage there for him. Shot clock running down. He has to launch something. Manages to scramble and almost get that offensive rebound, but a wheel on the sideline.
Defense from Perth being really suffocating at this point. That's threatening to the Manly side, who like their inside shots, and they're not getting any of those.
Norris drives middle, weaving. Realises he's gone a little too far. Kicks it back out. Evans with the ball to Kavanagh. Sean Norris measures that one. He's still to get the scoreboards moving. Evans to McHugh. And he gets us underway.
And that's exactly what you want to see from Perth. You want to see inside shots from Tom McHugh. That's exactly where he wants to be, and that could be exactly how they get this bronze.
Tom McHugh, 1 of 3 of the Australian rollers who'll make their debut in the upcoming Paralympics in Paris. Some creative denial in the backcourt, but the game moves on to the front court. Evans with the ball for Perth. Finds Norris. Fuentes Cervantes over the top with the steal. Reverses the ball via the agency of Wood. Back to Fuentes Cervantes. Wood. Latham. Takes a dribble. Finds the roller. Shot is a little short there from Matthew McShane. Before you know it, Sean Norris racing the other way for the coast-to-coast layup. He was also the first one back in transition defense, but he's committed the foul. The game's first transgression.
That's exactly what I thought was going to be the threat in this game, that fast break and getting those inside points when the defense isn't quite set up yet.
Early stages, it's the Perth Wheelcats 4. Manly yet to open their account until that point. Fuentes Cervantes with the 3. Norris surveys things. Peels out to the left-hand side. Looking for the skip pass to McHugh. Fuentes Cervantes with the hand in there.
And that's fantastic defense from Manly. That's exactly what you want to see. They're playing very active, responding to Perth's offense, and not letting them get anything there.
Shot clock creeps under 8 seconds. Evans looks at the long 2. It's off. Latham the rebound. Fuentes Cervantes draws some contact. Just the game's second foul, but the second foul for Sean Norris as well.
And that could be a danger for Perth. We know that they like to play through Sean Norris. He's a fantastic ball handler and point guard. And that's a dangerous thing if he gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, a man heading to his 6th Paralympics in Paris in a couple of weeks' time. Fuentes Cervantes' shot is a little long. McHugh the rebound for Perth. He pushes the break. Some contact there, but an offensive foul is the assessment. So we hear the horn in the background. Campbell just explaining the offensive foul there. Some who may not be familiar with the requirement of the defensive player in terms of where they have to position their chair.
Yeah, defensive players, it'll usually be considered perfect defense if you've got your big wheel facing anyone coming in, and if offensive players come in and slam into that big wheel, that'll instantly be called a charge. There are some kind of variations to that, but that's considered your perfect defense. That's exactly where you want to be.
Pretty much what we saw there, and that resulted in a turnover. The ball with Manly now. Eamon Wood, Bill Latham draws plenty of attention. The elbow, back to Fuentes Cervantes. Snap pass, Latham cuts, gets it back from Wood, and scores.
And that's what Manly have been looking for. They need those inside points, and could be a good sign for them that Bill Latham finally able to get inside the paint.
Manly get their beaks in front. 5-4 early stages. 4.5 minutes played. McHugh going the other way. A very familiar bank shot. Fuentes Cervantes held up by Pinder. To Latham, back to Wood, handoff. Fuentes Cervantes drives baseline using the McHugh screen. Back to Latham. Beautiful touch pass there. Probably just a little too quick for Reece Baxter.
And a little bit of a miscommunication there. I think he was looking for the pick to get Bill Latham inside, and Bill was expecting the roll.
As we see Kylie Gauchi come onto the floor for her first minutes. She's got to be tired, Campbell.
Yeah, she's coming straight off of that bronze medal game that she's played in the Women's League, and coming straight back into another bronze game for the men.
One of the unique features of the National Wheelchair Basketball League, women can play and do very effectively in the men's league and attract a point reduction of 1 point in their classification for doing so. Bill Latham cleverly puts Frank Pinder in what we'd call jail there. Pinder careers into the back of Latham's chair, committing the foul. Fourth team foul in this quarter for the Wheelcats. Manly yet to commit a foul. Latham with a log pass. Norris probably wasn't watching that one. Skip back to Latham. Two-point shot rolls in and out. Sean Norris the rebound. Drives middle, surveys the floor. Kylie Gauchi with the foul there. She looks down to see what number she's wearing. A little bemused that it was her. But there's a smile on her face as Sean Norris makes his way to the bench. A place that he doesn't spend a great deal of time in any of the Wheelcats fixtures.
It'll be just a little break and give him time to get back into the game and get his scoring underway. I mean, we know that he's a very strong scorer for the Perth side, so giving him that break to get back into his rhythm.
Yeah, possibly the two foul count high on head coach Ben Ettridge's list of concerns. It's Fuentes Cervantes, a beautiful interior pass to Bill Latham. His layup is good. Manly inch back in front, 7-6. Just a little over midway through the first quarter of this bronze medal game in the National Wheelchair Basketball League. Fuentes Cervantes extends that lead. These games coming to you live from Shell Harbour City Stadium. McHugh middle, allows his chair to roll backwards, draw some contact. On the shot, Eamon Wood assessed with that foul.
I think if you're Perth, you might be regretting putting Sean Norris on the bench as soon as he's gone off. The defense has looked a little bit lax and allowed Manly to get a few easy points here.
It's probably no surprise, Campbell. He's quite the conductor of both their offensive and defensive schemes, and yeah, it'll be quite a chess match for head coach Ben Ettridge to determine when he gets Norris back into the game. But being such a vastly experienced player, he's familiar with playing with foul trouble. Both those free throws are good from McHugh. Margins back to 1. Manly 9, Perth Wheelcats 8. Eamon Wood, the perimeter. Lofted pass to Latham. As befits the league's leading scorer this year, averaging 26 points a game, he makes that look fairly comfortable.
And this is more of the Bill Latham that we were expecting to see rather than what we saw yesterday. This is exactly what you'd expect.
McHugh dribbles middle and answers. Kylie Gauchi looks at her first shot. Just finds the wrong point on the backboard there. Plenty of contact going on inside the paint. All legal. Lob pass to McHugh. He allows his chair to drift backwards, but his shot is short. We have a shot clock adjustment. Crew Chief Alan Rosenberg heading over to just confer with the bench so they can get everything in order.
Manly not collecting too many fouls here, but definitely a physical game. The defense playing very aggressive and kind of bumping chairs, making sure that shooters aren't comfortable in any position that they get to.
So with just 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock when we get that adjusted, Perth decided they will call a timeout. So Manly in a much better situation than would be expected after the semi-final, Campbell.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot better than they looked in that semi-final, but exactly what I would expect them to look like here. We know that they've got fantastic shooters on their side. They've got very aggressive players. They like to play fast, and I think that's getting a little bit ahead of the Wheelcats. They like to play a little more of a set defense, and Manly making sure that they can't get anything there.
Right, as we see both teams checking their huddles.
Hey guys, so Coach Ben Ettridge there just drew up a quick play for his...
Right, we've got Tim Fairs with some information from the huddles.
Yeah, so, sorry guys, Coach Ben Ettridge just drew up a quick play for his team, just reminding him there's no need to rush, that they've got plenty of time and just go through their play and it should execute and they'll be fine for a quick easy 2 right now.
Thanks, Tim. So the shot clock just being adjusted now, ticking down to 3 seconds. And probably a perfect use of a timeout, Campbell, by Coach Ettridge, to try and design something, a quick hitter. Ball kicks to Kavanagh, and that was right on the buzzer, but the officials are happy.
I think that timeout was very valuable. They've set up something to work perfectly.
Saw the fist pump from Coach Ettridge there, understandably. Latham dumps to Gauchi inside, comes back around, ball held high above his head. Back to Fuentes Cervantes. This too is very smooth. Ties us away at 13. Inside the last minute, the first quarter. It's the bronze medal game, the National Wheelchair Basketball League. As youngster Cooper Spillane puts Perth's noses back in front. Latham wheeling the other way, some fancy chair work. Hands off to McShane, back to Fuentes Cervantes. He passes up an easier shot to create a more difficult one for Bill Latham, but despite the hands in his face, he's able to convert.
And that's a fantastic shot to be able to shoot through the height of Tom McHugh. I mean, he's a very experienced player, Bill Latham, but even with that experience, that's a hard shot to make.
Game clock down under 10 seconds. Frank Pinder creeps inside for the final score of the quarter. And after one quarter, it's the Perth Wheelcats 17, the Manly Wheeleagles 15. Both teams feeling each other out here, Campbell, and noticeable that probably the Sean Russell fouls are really the only strategic adjustment that's going to be required by either team.
Yeah, and that's going to be a difficult thing for Perth to deal with. I mean, on this side of Manly, I'd be looking to play a press against them. I'd be looking to play something aggressive to kind of keep their defense high, because we know that Manly has outside shooters, they have inside shooters, so you want to stop them early, but that's a risky thing to play when you're getting into foul trouble already.
Now, we mentioned before, Campbell, that the National Wheelchair Basketball League, this is the first time they've had a full home and away season and finals since 2019. There was a truncated season held in 2022, or a tournament, but the history of the league dates back to, which many people may not realise, 1988 it was first established, and the Perth Wheelcats who you see in this bronze medal contest, one of the foundation clubs, and have the most titles of any franchise with 8 titles. It's quite an amazing record, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fantastic record, and they've had some fantastic players who have come through those ranks. Obviously, we've had Brad Ness, one of the more decorated ex-rollers, and now the head coach of the rollers, the Australian men's squad. They've got fantastic structure there. They've got fantastic coaches, and they've got a really good setup program there that I think is invaluable to the league and also to our international players as well.
And there probably couldn't be a bigger contrast than the situation Manly find themselves in their debut season in the league.
And, well, really fighting for it too. They're putting a lot of pressure on this Perth side and showing that they deserve to be here.
Yeah, you think of, one can't help but think of all the organisational challenges involved in getting a franchise off the ground. This being a truly national league with teams in virtually every state and the Northern Territory. Quite the undertaking. As play is now underway, second quarter. Shell Harbour City Stadium. It's the bronze medal game, third place playoff. National Wheelchair Basketball League. The Wollongong Roller Hawks holding a narrow 2-point advantage over the Manly Wheeleagles. Beautiful pass from Latham. Sees Fuentes Cervantes with the underhand finger roll. Norris back on the floor, cuts middle, makes his own layup.
The defense of Manly just lacking a little bit there, even with Fuentes Cervantes calling out that the play was coming middle. It was coming middle, and they just didn't cover in time.
Latham with the pass fake. He's got Moncrief glued to him. It's no problem. Norris pushes the other way. Eamon Wood trying to cut him off, along with Bill Latham. Skip pass to Moncrief. Beautiful no-look pass to Frank Pender.
And that's exactly what you want to see from low-point players, looking for that pick and then rolling straight in and getting those easy points. They often go overlooked, and they can get very easy points like that.
As the officials just will call a halt in play. Carly Gauchi's out of her chair. A reasonably common occurrence, Campbell, in the wheelchair leagues.
Yeah, it can look a bit messy and a little bit dangerous, but players are very used to getting a lot of hard contact like that and just getting back into the game straight away.
Fuentes Cervantes, cut off, back to Eamon Wood. Bill Latham, Kylie Gauchi setting a screen, but he opts to go back to Fuentes Cervantes. His 3 is off. Benjamin Moncrief, the rebound, and pushes transition. Goes all the way. Pops in a nice little 10-footer.
And suddenly Manly looking a little bit lax again, struggling to get their points, and their defense lacking again.
Fuentes Cervantes rolls right and left, scanning the floor. Latham to Eamon Wood. He can't get it to go. Fuentes Cervantes, multiple fakes. Makes the short banker. Manly trails by just 2. Early stages, second quarter. National Wheelchair Basketball League Finals, bronze medal game. Frank Pender sneaks in there again. Offensive rebound. As substitutions are announced. Campbell, you mentioned before Frank Pender on his previous shot being a low point player. Can you explain a little more about just the point system and how that works in terms of what's allowable on the floor and what a team construct would look like?
Yeah, so any player has a point classification from 1 to 4.5. 4.5 being the highest level of mobility and movement, and 1 being the lowest. And you're allowed 14 points on the court at any given time, a combination of that 3 or 5 players. So you have low point players who are a lot faster and aren't necessarily your scorers.
As we see a charge, which is loudly cheered in the background. Phil Latham with that charge.
I think the Perth side pretty happy with that call finally, getting some fouls on the side of the Manly side.
As Tom McEwen comes back into the game along with Simon Corrich for his first minutes. Corrich in 8. As Manly sink back into a half-court man-to-man defence. Wood to McHugh, guarded by Latham. Back to Moncrief. Norris back to Moncrief. His 3 is short. Latham with the almost casual hook pass across the paint. Norris the rebound. He spies a gap, gets his chair in the narrowest of openings, but can't finish. And he's sealed off from contesting the transition, which Fuentes Cervantes runs brilliantly. Snaking the pass through to a cutting Eamon Wood.
Again, it's that speed on the Manly side. They really like that fast break, and Perth don't really have an answer to it.
McHugh does a 720 there in his chair. Remarkable dexterity. The ball will revert to Manly. So our officials just having a discussion. I think a timeout's been requested. A little confusion there, but the timeout is the first of their 2 allowable in the first half. First half taken by Manly.
I think this timeout will be really important for Manly to get a little bit of their defense back in. They haven't really had an answer for the Perth side. Their offense is looking very strong, but it's just that defense lacking a little bit and opening up a bit too much of a lane that they can get that Perth can get their inside shooters, and that's where they're getting all their points, and that's the dangerous thing for Manly.
We mentioned earlier the semi-final yesterday had turned into quite a romp for Perth in the end, 61-34. It's almost an advantageous situation for Manly having the opportunity to go back to the drawing board, have a look at the video, and come back the very next day. And we've got some updates from the huddle from Tim Fairs.
Yeah, so Coach Rowan Foy just apologised to his team because they obviously just on a bit of a roll, but he just said to them, look, I'm sorry, I did call that timeout a little bit earlier, but he just wanted to make sure that they realised who was on the court at the time and to adjust accordingly. With Frank Pinder off the court, they realise that that's where a lot of the help is going to come from their side, so, for their players just to be aware who's on in their matchups.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, interesting, Frank Pinder, a key focus of attention. He sometimes goes a little unseen, Campbell.
Yeah, those low point players can sneak in, they can get easy shots, and it can be a difficult thing when they've got more points than some of the high point players.
As Tom McHugh manages to leak out, catches, composes himself, and Fuentes Cervantes with the flailing arm. He seemed to be saying he didn't make any contact, but the official perfectly positioned. So the 2 points will count for McHugh and an opportunity to make 1 bonus free throw.
We've seen that a little bit this weekend, a few calls that players haven't been too happy with, but they're moving on and they're getting this bronze game underway.
Likely indicative of the stakes being played for. This is the finals weekend. So Perth now, 4-point lead, 27-23, halfway through the second quarter. This bronze medal game. Eamon Wood's shot is short. Phil Evans getting that rebound. Sean Norris rolling at pace. Manages to compose himself.
and
soften the shot.
And that's really important for this Perth side to show that they do have that speed and those fast breaks. They've mainly looked for inside shots on a set offense, and that's really important that they can have those fast breaks.
Great pass from Fuentes Cervantes. Eamon Wood unable to finish. Probably got himself a little too far under the basket. Just the first hint of some trouble potentially for Manly here. As Moncrief is blocked, manages to get the offensive rebound, makes the layup, and draws another foul on Fuentes Cervantes. That's his second. The familiar air horn announces we're having some substitutions, and with a little buffer here, Sean Norris will make his way to the bench for another break.
I think that's important. He's got to take those rests while he can and not risk too many fouls here.
Moncrief's free throw is off. Eamon Wood the rebound. Manly really, it's almost a must-score possession at this early stage. The skip pass from Latham's picked off easily by Phil Evans. McHugh changes direction expertly. Kicks back to Moncrief. He goes back to McHugh. And a post up, rolling backwards. Jake Kavanagh's shot almost sat on the rim, but decides to roll off. Cervantes wheels around looking for something that he likes the look of. Finds Bill Latham. He's forced to lean left in his chair, and as a result the shot's off.
And that's such a difficult position to shoot from, that leaning shot. We know a few players try to take those shots, but it's very difficult to shoot off balance.
Manly experiencing a bit of a dry spell in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Kavanagh screens, rolls, gets the ball. Fuentes Cervantes trying to block from behind again. Critically for him, that's his third foul. And in trying to ask for further explanation, he's received a warning from the official.
And I think just arguing his case and thinking that he didn't make contact on that one, or maybe even the one before. But you collect those fouls and you have to move on with them. Unfortunately, that is a factor of playing such a fast game and him being such an aggressive player.
Yeah, Manly with the 5 team fouls and haven't scored for the last 4 minutes here. 3 and a bit minutes remaining. Maybe the Perth score is where Manly would like it, but the Manly score is not where Manly would like it.
Yeah, and I think this is somewhat of what we saw yesterday, just going a little bit cold on the side of Manly, and Perth coming away with it, not letting them get any free baskets, and Perth making sure they convert.
And Tim Fairs has been listening into that Wheelcats huddle.
Yeah, so Coach Ben Ettridge there, it was a bit of an interesting time out then, but he was just reminding his players that they're taking care of what they want to do on the offensive end. It's all about the defensive end. There was a little bit of a discussion about the points that were on the court at the time with the substitution, but all sorted out, and he's pretty happy with how the players are going.
Thanks, Jim. So, Campbell, Tim explaining there that he was asking... Coach Ettridge asking the players to be aware of what points were on the floor and what positions. It's probably something that in able-bodied basketball is not such a consideration about who's where and who should be guarding who.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to consider in wheelchair basketball. You've got to consider your height. You've got to consider whether they're playing a faster lineup and they're going to push for transition or play a little bit more of a set offense.
We see Fuentes Cervantes miss that shot. Probably a little surprising he's still on the floor with his 3 fouls. And Moncrief goes coast to coast as we see decorated former Dutch Paralympic star and gold medal winner Kun Janssens on the floor for the first time. 32, he has the ball. Ball's deflected to Fuentes Cervantes. Back to Janssens, long reach. His shot's a little short. The drought continues for the Wheeleagles. They're 23. Perth sitting with a comfortable 10-point advantage on 33. Frank Pinder just popped out of his chair there. Officials just calling a halt in proceedings to allow him to get up, which he did pretty effectively. You can probably hear the clunking of the chairs. People screening, blocking, trying to deny space. McHugh on the elbow. Little long. Fuentes Cervantes, the rebound. Janssens with the head fake. Uses the Latham screen. Drives left. Tyler Gauci provides another screen. Fuentes Cervantes. Middle. Finally.
And that's exactly what we were talking about, that mismatch in points. Fuentes Cervantes getting a low pointer in front of him who can't block his shot and just sitting in the paint and taking that easy shot.
Tremendous faith that head coach Rowan Foy is showing in Fuentes Cervantes, leaving him on the floor with those 3 fouls in the first half. Of course, players allowed a maximum of 5 fouls. On that 5th foul, they are disqualified from the game. Janssens to Fuentes Cervantes. Kylie Gauci sets a back screen and rescreens. Fuentes Cervantes, agile as ever in his chair, finds Latham. His bank shot's a little long. Simon Corridge, the rebound for Perth. Moncrief pushes ahead to Pinder. Kylie Gauci desperately trying to get there. Pass just a touch high from McHugh, which is saying something. He's normally the man with those telescopic arms that can drag anything in.
Also with the ability to lean, as we've seen from a couple other players, it's a surprising thing that he couldn't pull that one in, but it happens.
Janssens inbounds to Fuentes Cervantes. He lets it roll a little bit. The clock, of course, won't start until somebody on the floor touches the ball. Pivots right and left. Janssens holds it in his left hand, takes a dribble. Kicks back to Fuentes Cervantes. Skip pass, Latham. He draws 2 defenders. Deflected away. McHugh manages to get it. Latham looked like he was about to go over and back. Flicked it behind his back. McHugh eventually comes up with it as the Manly defence tries to recalibrate. McHugh stopped at the top. Kavanagh wide open. Thinking shot goes past. Moncrief's shot is short. Just 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Janssens, Latham, Fuentes Cervantes. Can't make the layup. It does draw the contact.
That's exactly what I wanted to see from them in the offense. They're playing a bit more fast passes and getting the ball to move rather than just sitting it in one corner and looking for an option. I like that they're forcing the defense to move around a little bit and open those open lanes.
Jay Kavanagh literally scratching his head there, looking around when he was assessed with the foul. Fuentes Cervantes gets the user-friendly roll. And swishes the second. Just 3.7 seconds. Perth, whether they have something designed here. McHugh is cut off. Has to throw a hopeful shot come pass. And an excellent finish from the Manly Wheeleagles there when the game looked to be slipping away. The margin had crept out to 10. They find themselves trailing by just 6 at half-time, Campbell.
Yeah, I think they've returned to a little bit of what they were using to get that little bit of a lead, and starting to close that gap with their shooters coming back online, and the Perth defense not really having an answer to that, and their offense not going as strong as we would expect.
From a Perth point of view, they'd be reasonably happy, do you think, given the fact that Sean Norris was in early foul trouble with those two? He's such a key part of their operation, and they're able to sit him for a couple of stretches to have a 6-point advantage heading into the long break.
Yeah, I think they'd be very happy with that, and he hasn't collected much more and he's looking a little bit calmed down. I think he was getting a bit stressed out by those 2 early fouls, and it's a lot better of a position for them to be in here now.
A reminder, you're watching the National Wheelchair Basketball League Finals coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium. This is the bronze medal game between the Belt-Up Perth Wheelcats and the Sargood Foundation Manly Wheeleagles. Two teams at opposite ends of their history. Perth, a foundation club with their wheelchair basketball history in the National League dating back to 1988. Manly, very much the newcomers. A brand new franchise in 2024 who've done a remarkable job to get themselves up and running and put themselves in the finals. Right, we will be back in just before the start of the second half. Morning again and welcome back for the second half of this third place playoff game in the National Wheelchair Basketball League for the men. It's the Manly Wheeleagles trailing the Perth Wheelcats at the moment, 33-27. It's been an engrossing first half, Campbell.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic couple of quarters. We've seen both teams have really good passages of play and then struggle for a little bit at times. Obviously, the Wheeleagles down a little bit, but definitely not a lead that they can't make up, or a deficit that they can't make up, rather.
And foul trouble, one of the stories of the first half. We've seen one of Manly's stars, Emmanuel Fuentes-Cervantes, sitting on 3 fouls, and Sean Norris, about to go to his 6th Paralympic Games with the Australian Rollers, sitting on 2 fouls and spent a little bit of time on the bench.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time, probably just to cool down. Things were getting a little bit heated on court for a little bit. And also just to get his shooting rhythm back in. We know that he is a playmaker, but he's also a very effective shooter. So I think just taking that second to kind of calm down, get back into it, and keep going and push that lead.
You're watching this game live and free on KO Freebies, the National Wheelchair Basketball League. Brought to us by Wheelchair Basketball Australia, who took over the running of the men and women's National Wheelchair Leagues this year to get things back and happening with the tremendous support of the Beluga Foundation. You see a little bit of jockeying for position before the ball has even been handed to Fuentes-Cervantes to inbound for Manly. It's Manly in the maroon uniforms with the light blue names and white numbers. Perth in the black and red as things are underway. Fuentes-Cervantes finds a screen calmly and makes another shot.
And if you're on the side of Manly, you're pretty happy with that that start. That's a very good look for him, and looking a lot more comfortable than he was before.
Tom McHugh answers. As we see Tori Simpson on the floor for Manly in 7 for the first time in this game. But it's Kylie Gauchi with the ball at the moment. Finds Bill Latham. Back across to Emmanuel Fuentes-Cervantes. He drives baseline, cut off by Pinder. Skip pass to Latham. Draws a double team. Fuentes-Cervantes cuts middle. He'll be disappointed that he couldn't get that one to go. Sean Norris off and rolling the other way. Finds McHugh. McHugh back to Norris. Skips the ball back around by Phil Evans. Jake Kavanagh. Shot is much too long. Manly with another opportunity to eat into this 6-point lead that Perth enjoy. Fuentes-Cervantes drives baseline. Latham, give and go. Janssens opens his scoring account.
That's exactly what I wanted to see from Manly. We saw it a little bit earlier, that those fast passes and opening up a lot of scoring opportunities for Manly where they were previously sitting a bit stagnant and taking shots that they didn't like.
McHugh, a couple of pass fakes. Janssens rises up for the rebound. To Fuentes-Cervantes onto Kylie Gauchi. She's cut off by Norris. Wheels back around, changes direction multiple times. Comes back around again. Fuentes-Cervantes, the shot clock ticks down under 10 seconds. Latham, aware of that, back to Fuentes-Cervantes. The behind the back pass. The 3 rolls around. And Fuentes-Cervantes does a fabulous job getting himself back in transition defense to deflect that full court pass away.
Manly really need to be aware of that. It's Perth don't play a too aggressive transition offense, but they do like to have someone sitting down there already and ready for that long pass.
Norris uses the screen from Evans to Kavanagh, back to Norris. He's thinking shot, It's off. Latham with his own baseball pass. Fuentes Cervantes sitting on those 3 fouls. Probably thinks discretion's the better part of valor there, rather than go charging in for the layup. Latham uses the screen from Simpson. Back to Fuentes Cervantes. He's looking at a 3. Rolls tantalisingly off the front of the rim. The margin sits at 4. Perth 35, Manly 31. 3 minutes gone. It's the third quarter. Sean Norris. Quite a flat bank shot there. Thuds off the backboard and falls in. Tom McHugh raises his hand, indicating that's his second personal foul. He collected somebody in transition.
And probably a bit of a careless foul there. Perth weren't struggling to get back into defense, and just a little bit of an aggressive bump and collect foul.
Bill Latham rolls around. You can hear the squeaking of the wheels, these high-tech chairs the players use. Jansen's in a spot he's comfortable with. A very high arcing shot. Draws the contact from a perplexed Jake Kavanagh, but I think he knew he'd made some contact. He now has 1 free throw and an opportunity to cut the margin back to 3, but it will stay at 4. As that shot is astray. Sean Norris at pace. Manly defence a little confused there, but somehow Norris couldn't get it to go. But the rebound found its way back to him. Tom McHugh with all the time in the world to measure that free throw line shot.
The Manly defense just getting a little bit confused there. I think they thought the ball had gone out, and Fuentes Cervantes had already streaked down the court.
The danger of leaking out. As Fuentes Cervantes has his shot blocked from behind by Norris. McHugh off in transition down the left side of the floor. Gathers himself. Norris takes a breath. Interior pass. Kavanagh can't get the layup to go, gets the offensive rebound. Kylie Gauchi's adjudged to have gone out of bounds, potentially to gain advantage. Referee Rosenberg quite decisive in assessing that, and the ball will revert back to Perth. Shot clock didn't reset. 8 seconds, counting down. Tom McHugh's fouled after the pass from Norris. That's the third personal foul for Bill Latham. It's a significant amount of foul trouble for a lot of the star players here, Campbell.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position for Manly. They're Bill Latham in their previous game yesterday collecting 4 fouls, and that's a very bad position for him to be in. He's a primary scorer for Manly, and they don't really have an answer if he has to go off.
Tom McHugh makes the second. Coach Ben Attridge, they're just querying whether the shot clock should have reset on the previous possession, but it's all okay at the moment with Perth having found their way to the free throw line. Bill Latham now with the ball, down near the right block. Back to Fuentes Cervantes, shot clock racing down. He's forced to learn something. Kylie Gauchi at pace, in amongst the trees, gets the rebound, finds the glass.
And again, that threat of the low point as they come in, and you don't expect them to get those rebounds and put those points away.
As Perth turns it over. Margin sits at 5. Perth 40, Manly 35. Janssens goes glass, can't get it to go. McHugh the rebound. Latham's temporarily out of his chair. Norris does a 360 on the pass. Kylie Gauchi screened out. Appeals from various players, but play goes on. Fuentes Cervantes with the finger roll. Can't get it to go. And we've got one of these smaller wheels off one of the chairs. rolling freely into the paint.
I've seen quite a few things break in chairs over the years, but I don't think I've ever seen a caster wheel come off like that. So that's quite impressive.
So the caster wheels are the 4 smaller wheels that sit under the frame of the chair. And we can see Bill Latham finding a few of the associated nuts and bolts that were holding that wheel on.
That's an impressive contact that must have created that. They're quite strong chairs.
As with most things, that's only a minor obstacle for these players and teams. We see Phil Evans exchanging passes with Sean Norris. He finds McHugh. Latham, the defensive player of the year in the league, guards him. Norris launches a shot. It's a little long. Another chance for Manly to get this lead down below 5. Latham wheels across the floor, comes back onto his left hand, back to Fuentes Cervantes. Shot clock ticks down to 10. Gauci outside the 3-point line to Latham. He looks at a very long 2. That's off. Cooper Spillane, the rebound. Youngster into the game for Perth. Drives, thinking layup, draws some contact. Quite a deal of savvy from the youngster there, Campbell.
Yeah, he's a very smart player. He looks for those seals in and gets into a position that he likes and is not afraid of contact, certainly.
Spillane with a chance to open his scoring account. The first one rolls off to the right. First of 2 free throw attempts, each worth 1 point. Second one's off as well, but Tom McHugh sneaks in for the rebound. Keeps the ball high above his head and puts it back in.
And it's little things like that that are going to hurt Manly, those put-back points. They've got height on Bill Latham. They shouldn't be letting those rebounds go.
Perth by 7. Jansen's inside. Clever fake to shake off multiple hands swishing at the ball. And he scores.
I think we see why Janssens was such a mainstay of the Dutch team for a very long time through the Paralympics.
And certainly playing with a smile on his face at the moment. As Tom McHugh's shot's a little long, and that man Janssens with the rebound finds a streaking Latham. He's cut off at halfway, but we've got a chair lock up in the back court. Officials stop the game, but the clunking goes on. Official Helen Rosenberg yet to give the ball to Kylie Gauci to inbound, and all sorts of jockeying for positions going on.
You'll see that a lot. Players want to get to their position very early, and they're not afraid to get a little bit of fight in them and maybe work up the defense a little bit.
One of the unique features of the sport. It's Manly underway again. That margin's been hovering around 5 for quite a while. 6 there at the moment as Kylie Gauci's pass is deflected. She could see the danger of a transition sequence for Perth. Chose to foul Tom McHugh in a rather ungainly fashion. And an unsportsmanlike foul.
That's a bit of a difficult call to be called unsportsmanlike. I think Kylie Gauci would be thinking she had position, and if anything, it was just a block. But
as Tom McHugh makes the first free throw, probably a question of intent in the referee's mind then. What was the intent of Kylie Gauci with the ball having advanced over her head?
I think she was almost in a position that she was coming in, whether the ball was made that pass or not, she was flying in, and maybe that intent was not thought about.
We agree to disagree on that one, Campbell, but it's the beauty of the sport. So many subjective situations require a deal of emotional control from all the players involved. As Perth makes a couple of substitutions, Ben Moncrief back on the floor in 25, along with Simon Corrich in 8. They have the ball. Their star, Sean Norris, kicks to another one of their stars, Tom McHugh. His shot's a little long. Bill Latham manages to corral the rebound. Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes. Kicks to Caligauchi, back round to Bill Latham, one of his patented rollback shots. It's a little short. He looks at his fingers. Sean Norris wheels down. The ball somehow changes hands. Almost fumble come manoeuvre.
Manly collecting a lot of fouls here. This is a dangerous position for them to be in.
Caligauchi's having a whale of a day. She's just committed her 4th foul. Having already featured in one bronze medal game today. She's back on the floor here.
Showing that she's still got a lot of energy behind her and still got a lot of fight.
So that second free throw's off, but the long rebound falls to Perth. Much to Manly's dismay. Ball back to Moncrief. Gauchi guarding Moncrief. Tom McHugh finds himself at the free throw line. Sean Norris lines up the banker. For the first time, or the second time in this game, the lead out almost to double figures. It's Perth Wheelcats 46. The Manly Wheeleagles 37. That pass goes astray. Kylie Gauchi sneaks in to recover it. Ball flips back to her. It's deflected on the way. Catches her wheel. Perth off and racing. Moncrief. Beautiful 3-man transition.
Again, Perth playing through those fast passes and getting their offense very fluid.
Sean Norris with the underhand finish there. Ball to Janssens. Left wing. Back to Fuentes Cervantes. To Gauchi, back to Fuentes Cervantes. The pass is a little long. It's another turnover. Phil Evans, the recipient. He's off and racing, scanning the floor. Moncrief. He finds Sean Norris again. Almost a carbon copy of the previous sequence. So we're down inside the last 30 seconds of the third quarter. Almost mystically, Perth have found their way to a 13-point lead. Fuentes Cervantes does something to at least arrest the run. Perth with an opportunity now. 8, 7, 6 seconds remaining for the last shot of the quarter. Sean Norris aware, takes a deep breath, launches a 3, which falls through the basket as the horn sounds in the background, and really quite a blow there as we see that extend the Perth lead 50 to 53-39.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's almost exactly what Manly didn't want to happen. They didn't want that 8 second as the shot clock was running down. They didn't want to waste a shot there, and the strength of Sean Norris just being a little bit too strong and getting that 3 very comfortably.
Yeah, certainly after sitting out a few minutes in the first half, he's come back full of running, to use a cliche. But that transition offense, Perth Manly just getting a little ragged in the half court there. A couple of passes, a single deflection, allowing the leak out, and Perth rolling down the floor in numbers.
Yeah, I think they're playing a little bit too fast on the side of Manly. They're getting a little bit flustered when they come down with speed, and they're not getting their inside looks with Bill Latham sitting in the paint. That's where they want to score from when they've won games previously in the season. That's exactly what they've done. But that's at this point, it's not working for them, and Perth making sure that they suffer for every shot that they miss.
A reminder, at the end of this bronze medal game in the National Wheelchair Basketball League, we have the 2 big ones, the 2 gold medal games. In the women at 11:30 a.m, it's the Sydney Uni Flames taking on the Perth Wheelcats. And the home Wollongong team taking on the Darwin Salties in the men's grand final at 1:30 p.m. for gold. Campbell, you're looking ahead to those 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to be fantastic games. We've seen them match up already this weekend, and certainly a game that the Salties might be expecting to win, but not not secured in any way.
We're about to get underway, 4th quarter. Perth with the ball and with the running. Norris to McHugh. Back to Norris. Shot's a little long. You see Michael Gray on the floor for the first time this morning. 13 for Manly. Fuentes Cervantes. Kicks it across to Bill Latham. Gets a screen from Kylie Gauci. Wheels back around behind the screen. Fuentes Cervantes with the ball. Shot clock ticks down under 5. Looks for Latham inside. Pass is deflected. And the 24 seconds shot clock expires.
And they'd almost found exactly what I was hoping that Manly would be able to find with Bill Latham inside the paint, but just taking a few too many seconds to find that option.
Sean Norris uses multiple screens to move across the floor from right to left. Skips it back to McHugh. Familiar offensive pattern. Back to Moncrief. His 3. Dips the ball down into his waist. Gets maximal elevation and swishes the 3. Gauci to Latham. Back to Fuentes Cervantes. Gray sets the screen. Fuentes Cervantes wheels back around. Latham thought about the interior pass. It wasn't available. Gray with the offensive rebound. He scans the floor. Fuentes Cervantes tries to make a cut. Shot clock ticks down under 10, but it won't matter as Perth poked the ball away. Norris to McHugh, to Moncrief, back to Norris. The bank shot, takes a look inside, falls out. Frank Pinder, one of his almost unseen talents is the denial of transition. On this occasion, he has been whistled for the foul.
And Manly just looking a little bit messy on this offense, not kind of finding what they're expecting to find, their inside shots or their consistent outside shooters, and just looking a bit confused here.
Fuentes Cervantes back to Gauci. She throws a one-of-a-kind pass, sort of a low left-hand boomerang, which finds Bill Latham. He somehow manages to duck back into contact and draw a foul.
I think the years of experience behind Bill Latham have taught him every way to draw a foul and create contact while he's shooting.
He makes the first free throw. Still a long road back for the Manly Wheeleagles here. Trailing 56-40. Just under 8 minutes remaining. 56-41, courtesy of that second free throw. Plenty of denial going on in the backcourt as the ball is advanced by Tom McHugh for Perth. McHugh with a bullet skip pass. I was going to say Sean Norris will be disappointed missing that, but he stayed with the play, snavelled the offensive rebound and converted it.
Manly struggling to pull in those rebounds and giving Perth too many opportunities to score.
Manly with the ball. Gauci back to Fuentes Cervantes. Gray the screen. Fuentes Cervantes goes behind it. Looks at 3. Sits on the rim for a second, but rolls off. Moncrief wheels the other way for Perth. To Norris. He was thinking about the Pinder screen. Found Tom McHugh right under the hoop. He draws some more contact. The Wheelcats make a couple of substitutions. Evans and Kavanagh back onto the floor. Along with Eamon Wood for Manly. Tom McHugh at the line. His chair tilted off towards the side. In a comfortable fashion for him, makes the first free throw. Second rims out. Phil Latham, the rebound. A little less than 7 minutes to play in this bronze medal game. The National Wheelchair Basketball League coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium, courtesy of the Beluga Foundation and Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Phil Latham calmly knocks down a free throw shot, or a shot from the free throw line. He cut the margin to 16. Perth inside. Multiple opportunities there. Jake Kavanagh, a rueful look. The ball will stay with Perth.
And again, Manly not able to pull in those rebounds, and the ball keeps getting back to Perth, and they're making sure that those shots will count eventually.
Norris to McHugh. Lovely soft touch. He takes a deep breath as he rolls back in transition. Frank Pinder takes a spit out of his chair. Officials let things continue. Latham with the ball. Back to Eamon Wood. He takes a glance at the shot clock. It's down under 10. Measures his shot. Frank Pinder still waiting there for some aid to come. It comes in the shape of Phil Evans. He's all smiles as he's able to lever himself up.
It's an unfortunate position for Frank Pinder not being able to get himself back up, and the play moving past him, so he's just sitting there waiting.
Phil Evans drives baseline. Ball to Kavanagh. Norris to McHugh. Ooh. Poor Kylie Gouchie's copped that one right on the scone. Sean Norris making a back cut. Tom McHugh goes over to check she's okay. He's doing the perfect thing defensively, denying the cut. The pass was a laser. The players just checking she's okay there. 8 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Perth. Ball to Norris, he's aware of that. He wheels back around a couple of times. Eamon Wood comes with a desperation lunge, but it's all in vain. Perth have absolutely caught fire, particularly from the three-point line. Fuentes Cervantes, his shot is short. Scoreboard pressure really coming to bear here now. Norris thinks about another three. Shot fakes inside. McHugh controls it with one hand. Back to his left hand, controls it again. The Manly defence just stymied in position there. Margin out to 23. It's almost happened in the blink of an eye, Campbell.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing for Manly to come back at this point. I think they've let a few too many simple shots go, and almost collecting there. Fast breaks like that.
As both benches starting to empty a little as we tick down inside 5 minutes. Jonty Diamond on the floor in 20 for Manly. Jordan Moritz wheels onto the floor for Perth in 12, along with Nat Hongsree, a youngster. Both Moritz and Hongsree are red card players, Campbell, which might not mean what the average viewer would think a red card means.
Red card is a very valuable thing for these players. They get a 1 point discount on their classification, so allowing the teams to play a lot more lineups than they would normally.
Yeah, and that's as a result of either being a first-year player or a junior player. It's a fantastic initiative that allows teams and coaches the flexibility to be able to offer the invaluable lure of court time to some of these youngsters or less experienced players. As Kylie Gouchie misses the layup, but Eamon Wood with the follow. Sean Norris just checking what's around him as he wheels down the floor. There's almost an open lane on the baseline. Kicks it back to Moritz. Beautiful one-hand pass. Catch and launch from McHugh. Unfortunately, unable to be finished by Frank Pinder. Eamon Wood coming the other way for Manly. Finds Bill Latham at the free throw line. That's a comfortable spot for him.
And he's just left open there. The defense on the side of Perth just struggling to find the big man, and open shot there.
Perth really almost cruising at this stage. A game that was so tight for so long. Perth 66, Manly 47. As that one falls harmlessly out of bounds. And we'll go to Manly. Both coaches with their full complement of timeouts, but I think they've both realised at this stage that there's no need to call them.
It might be more interesting, more valuable for the players to just continue running this game and see what they can find.
Eamon Wood inside. Fuentes Cervantes. Comfortable short bank shot. Moritz exchanges a pass with Norris. Back to McHugh. He's looking inside for Pinder. Moritz finds the dead spot, the back of the rim, and the shot falls home. It's Perth by 21. The bronze medal all but assured for them in the 2024 National Wheelchair Basketball League. Bill Latham shoots, misses, gets his own offensive rebound. The second one sits off the rim. McHugh the rebound.
And I think that's a bit indicative of how this side of Manly's gone, having those shots and getting their opportunities, a second chance, still not putting it away.
Bill Latham raises his hand to indicate he's fouled. The horn goes in the background. Bill Latham's fourth foul, but academic at this juncture. Tom McHugh, who'll find himself in Paris in a couple of weeks' time, we hope, anyway, as part of the Australian Rollers, in their quest to get back on the podium for the first time in 12 years. Tom McHugh commits his fourth foul and leaves the floor with a broad grin.
And unfortunately, Manly actually finding kind of their rhythm here and getting a few inside looks. Bill Latham just before that foul actually getting inside, but at this point it's not starting to matter.
Latham holds the ball high above his head, finds a cutting Fuentes Cervantes. He adds a consolation too. Just 90 seconds remaining. Youngster Moritz tries his hand at a three. It clangs off the front of the rim. Latham is cut off by Frank Pinder. Diamond in there trying to back screen Pinder. Well, the ball skips across to Wood. The Manly shot clock down under 5. Latham cuts middle, gets the pass from Fuentes Cervantes and finishes.
Again, Manly getting those inside looks, getting really good passages of play here, and it's unfortunate that it's coming at such a deficit now.
Norris content to let some clock run. He definitely does a 7:20 there. Back to Jordan Moritz. It's a sweet-looking stroke, just a little short again from 3. Fuentes Cervantes draws some contact from Sean Norris. In fact, the foul assessed on Jordan Moritz. Both players were in there with a hand. First free throw is not good for Fuentes Cervantes. Second one swishes through. The waning seconds. What was an enthralling contest until Perth found a 5-minute patch of repetitive three-pointers, some fantastic transition that Sean Norris was at the end of. And the lead just expanded almost magically. Bill Latham kicks ahead. Eamon Wood, possibly an opportunity for one last shot. It's from Fuentes Cervantes, but it's off. And that's it, a 15-point win and a bronze medal in the 2024 National Wheelchair Basketball League for the Perth Wheelcats.
Yeah, that's a fantastic showing from the Perth Wheelcats. I mean, fantastic, especially through Tom McHugh, having a fantastic game there, getting a double-double. Unfortunate on the side of Manly, their shooters not coming through quite as strong as you might expect, and just not able to find their rhythm until really at the end of that game. They did manage to claw back a little bit, and it's a difficult thing to get such good scoring at the very end there, where it almost didn't matter.
Certainly a season, Campbell, for Manly to take immense pride in having started the franchise, getting themselves to the final. They were competitive for about half of yesterday's semi-final before the Wheelcats managed to pull away, and even longer today. There's a pattern there of figuring what it's all about at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a couple new players come through, a couple less experienced players, I think it's fantastic for the league, regardless of that outcome. It's a fantastic thing to see players get that more experience, and especially in a finals showing like this, it's a fantastic weekend.
And looking ahead, we've got the 2 gold medal games to come, but in a couple of weeks' time we've got the Paralympics, which has particular relevance given the lineups that are on the floor there. From the Perth team, Frank Pinder will go as a first-time player for the Rollers to a Paralympics. Tom McHugh in the same situation, first-time roller at a Paralympics. Phil Evans, same thing, first-time roller at a Paralympics. On the flip side of the coin, we have their teammate Sean Norris heading to his 6th Paralympic Games, if you can believe that. And it's a wonderful thing for these players to be able to look forward to. And Bill Latham, of course, on the Manly team, heading off to Paris as well. Yeah,
and I think that could be something that's really helped the Wheelcats here with some of those new players who are fantastic players, but knowing that they have such a veteran on their side with Sean Norris and the experience that he's got, that's certainly helped them to get to the point that they've reached here.
And the opportunity to be able to play in the National League as a direct run into the Paralympic Games is advantageous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic thing here.
Right, and I think we have Tim Fairs. Norris.
So I'm here with Sean Norris. Sean, first of all, not the game that you wanted to play in this weekend, but congratulations on the win.
How's it feel?
Yeah, it's good. Good to finish on a win. Yeah, as you said, it's not exactly the weekend we wanted. But, you know, I think that's a testament to how strong the league is right now, that any team, I think, in the top 4 can win it on the day. So it looks good for the Australian team going to Paris too. So, yeah, happy with today, but, yeah.
But obviously, Perth, you've been winning a fair bit. You have a very successful team. A lot of young players coming through. Can you tell us about that? We see Frank, we see Tom. The future's pretty bright.
Yeah, go from one of the youngest guys in the team to the oldest in a whole new group. So I'm very proud of these boys. You know, they put in a lot of hard work over the years, and it's been great to watch them grow and into the players they are now. I think in perspective of the whole where we're at right now as a Perth team, it's you know, it's good experience, and I think in the future it's going to be bright for us.
And personally, you did mention Paris before. 6 Paralympics, is that correct? How's it feel to pull on the green and gold one more time?
Yeah, awesome. Probably more grey hairs on my head than I'd like to, but you know, awesome. Just the ultimate honour, you know, to represent your country. So very, very happy to be going away with the boys, and excited to see what we can do.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Congrats on the season and all the best in Paris.
Thank you.
From Sean Norris there. And we're just trying to get Bill Latham now as well to get his perspective on the game this season. Bill Latham might be unavailable. Nick Gray hopefully coming over from the Manly team. But certainly plenty on Sean Norris's plate in the next few weeks, Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be very busy, and granted, this will be his 6th, and he's very prepared for these kind of things.
Right, of course, it'll be 11:30 a.m. for the women's gold medal game.
Okay, good to go. You want to go to us? Are you ready to go to us?
We've got Michael Gray over there from the Manly Wheeleagles.
Mick, first of all, commiserations. I mean, tough loss today, but a decent weekend for you guys. 2 tough games, unable to come away with a win.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did come in with high expectations, thinking that we were, there and thereabouts. Just, being first year together, a lot of us are new. I think we've improved immensely as the season's gone on. Just to make finals in our first year was amazing. Like, for all the boys to come together the way we did, from where we started to where we are now, just to be a part of the finals was amazing.
And you're right, like coming into the last round, you're just on the edge of the finals, so to get that finals berth will have been great. How did you find the first NWBL season?
Yeah, I was retired for about 16 years, so coming back into it, the game is extremely quick. So we sort of need to know what we have to get better at for next year. Sort of a stepping stone for just a very good learning experience for a lot of the boys coming together as a new club and as a new team. And I think we can only benefit from the experience of how quick the game is and how professional everyone is now, and so we all need to go back as individuals, work on our stuff, come back into next year, and I think we can be a lot better and a lot stronger.
And speaking of individuals, your teammate Bill Latham, Defensive Player of the Year, leading point scorer, was he a little bit hard done by not to get the MVP?
I'm a bit biased, so I'll say yes. He was a little bit hard done by. Bill's amazing. He's an awesome athlete, really, really good bloke. Just fits into the team like no nonsense, just does his thing, and it's so good for the young boys just to get around that experience. Like, he plays in Spain, lives in Spain, professional, just to know what he does on a day-to-day basis to make him who he is and how he goes about everything is just invaluable for our club to be a part of that. It was just awesome to have him. It was really, really good.
Fantastic. Look, mate, thanks so much for your time. We'll let you get back to your teammates, and congrats on the season.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Right, fantastic to hear from Michael Gray on the season, the weekend, and potentially the future. Anyway, in 16 minutes' time, or just a touch over 16 minutes' time, we will have the women's gold medal game on the floor at the moment. It's the Perth Wheelcats and the Sydney Uni Flames warming up, and we will be back with that broadcast just before the commencement of the game.